various streaming platforms. I'm your host, Brett Wiseman, joined by my line mates, Christian Emery and Will Flint, who actually goes by the name of X-Wing at Aliciousness this week. Will may or may not be using more names from the famous Key and Peele sketch throughout the remainder of the season, so please stay tuned for that. Christian and Will and I have devised a new segment. Will and I will get to premiere our portion of this later on in the program, but since our viewing audience is mainly Hurricanes fans, we'll start every show by talking about the Carolina Hurricanes. Sound the goal horn. I have to find the goal horn, though. We will start every program by talking about the Carolina Hurricanes.
Sorry, I'm simultaneously watching the game at the same time. I'll stop. Caps are up 3-0. I'm okay, but
Anyways, yeah. As we're recording this, Will's Capitals are playing the New Jersey Devils. The Devils! We're the Devils! If you've never seen Seinfeld, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. If you have seen Seinfeld, you know what I'm talking about.
I haven't seen Seinfeld really. I mean, I've watched it like when I was like 5, and it just happened to be on whatever channel.
Background here. Christian knows this guy, Patrick Warburton, who's the voice of Joe on Family Guy and has been on like 75 other shows. He
was Kronk too, wasn't he?
In Emperor's New Groove. Yeah. So Patrick Warburton basically plays this crazy Devils fan in the streets of New York on a Seinfeld episode, wearing a Marty Brodeur jersey, a Devils mask, and face paint, and leans into Jerry Seinfeld's 1989 Chevrolet Caprice, screaming, "We're the Devils! We're the Devils! Go Devils! We're the Devils!" outside of Madison Square Garden. It's fantastic. It's great comedy. Anyways, we're debuting a new segment in which each of us are fans of a team. Christian, of course, a Hurricanes fan. Will's a Capitals fan. I'm a Blues fan, in case you couldn't tell if you're watching the video on YouTube. We'll get the sound off on what is making us tick about our teams, what our teams are doing well, what our teams are not doing well. Needless to say, Christian, as you start us off, while the Hurricanes are not located near Carowinds, they've been playing much like the Fury 325.
I'm not sure how to respond to that, but
isn't that the one that broke
down and up and down and
okay, yeah, okay.
Let's say, isn't that the one the government deemed unsafe?
Yeah, a bolt may have come loose, but
okay. Well, I mean, it's mainly just been injuries, and right on cue, as I say to start the year, injuries can't happen. What happens? Brett Pesce, Frederik Andersen, Sebastian Aho, Andrei Svechnikov, and a plethora of other injuries have plagued this team. I'm like, wonderful. The one thing that I don't need to happen. And I have a friend who's already in the sky is falling mode on this entire thing. I'm like, let them get together and let's figure that out. But
season's way too long to be in sky falling mode, unless everyone's out for 6 months.
Don't panic, everyone. You always have that.
I heard a fridge go off or something. I didn't hear it go off.
I heard nothing.
I heard what sounded like someone starting up an old microwave, maybe.
I mean, I live right above a garage.
At least, Hurricanes fans, you don't have this.
It sounded like a small dog got hit by a car.
Yeah, that was Montreal Canadiens goal.
Oh, okay, all right. I just heard beep and then it stopped.
Okay.
What are we gonna get? Are we gonna get it flagged for copyright for playing a horn?
A goal horn? Maybe. I don't know.
I'll go to the pawn shop and buy a French horn right now.
That's usually what it is at this point.
Yeah,
tell me what pawn shop is open in 15.
It's only 7:15 here.
And I'll tell you which one sells a French horn when I find both of those.
Why Central Time? That's enough out of you. You and your
you don't count. You don't contribute anything to the rest of America. All of us on the East Coast do everything, right?
Hey, wait a minute. They've got Kirill Kaprizov and stuff up there. Come on now.
And that's the only thing contributing to American society and is for the Central Time Zone. No, they have the Heartlands and the Great Lakes and everything. They grow
they have that.
So they're
that,
okay.
the other thing. They also have. I can't. How do I not? Okay, here we go. That's where Christian is. That's a Minnesota Wild goal horn.
I don't
We just
hear
do a whole
anything when you do
episode,
that.
or we just play goal horns without context, and we try to guess whose goal horn it is.
Go for it. I'm down. Dude, like this can be 2 hours long. Like it doesn't matter. Do we have a time limit?
It sounds like a foghorn. It's probably Anaheim. Anyways.
They all sound wow, I like how the
same?
the whatever on earth was going on with my voice there.
It's a topic that Will is so emotional about. He's getting choked up about.
It was just why?
I love goal horns.
They go, and I'm like, oh God, yes. Oh, why?
Anyways, Christian.
We've gone off track. To continue.
Yes.
You expect us not to. I don't have a script next to me. We're good.
Neither do I. So
last week I was on my best
Can
behavior.
Can we resharpen the skates here?
Dump and change.
Get back on track. All right.
Am I being demoted to the fourth line?
Yeah, let's get her going.
We're getting synced. We're going to the moon, boys.
Hey, look, line change for us means bad things because the line is to show. So, anyways, Michael Bunting, Christian, we talked about those offseason moves last episode. Michael Bunting proving very much to pack a punch as a valuable two-way forward. Orlov is also providing that physical punch on the back end as well. So those two moves seem to be paying off. But around them, you talked about the injuries. We have Kochekov come up. He gets thrown to the Wolves to play against Tampa. Carolina really got out physical. I say out physical. That's about the only word I can come up with. They got thrown around like ragdolls in that game, which is not something that's indicative of a Rod Brindamore coach team. At times, we have seen the Hurricanes take that physicality to other teams. And there's been a couple times in these first 2 weeks where they have had the body taken to them. That frozen frenzy loss to the Lightning was indeed a situation in which the physicality was taken to them rather than them taking the physicality to the opponent. That's where guys like Michael Bunting and Dmitry Orlov are supposed to step up. But as the injuries have occurred, their roles have increased where they came into the year as role players. Now they're kind of having to step up. Orlov's had to step up from the third deep pair to the second deep pair. Bunting's having to play a lineup. So there's a lot of shifting, moving, shaking, not what you wanted to see early in the season. Injuries aren't necessarily an excuse, but they're a very, very good reason as to why things are the way they are.
Yeah, and when you have your two best players out, I think Aho missed 2 games, I think, and Svechnikov is yet to even I think it was earlier this week, it may have been late last week, he just took the no contact jersey off. So he's on his way back at some point, but when you're missing your 2 best players, it's kind of hard to be as effective as you want, and that affects your pairings. I mean, Michael Bunting, as far as I'm concerned, should be playing on the third line with Jordan Stahl and Jesper Fast against the other team's top line, and then you could put Andrei Svechnikov somewhere on that the top 2 lines, and then Frederik Andersen going down. I told you, Canes fans, that Kochetkov is not the answer, but y'all didn't want to believe me. Anyway, but
I mean, what was the over? What was the over under for when Freddie was going to go down? Like, it's unfortunate, but what was the over under for it? Were there any odds for it? I was going to say about 2 months.
And he's definitely injury prone, but I mean, well, in some aspects, he has this injury history, of course, but I don't think that they really expected him to go down 2-3 games into the season. But I mean, you got to make do with what you can in goal. And Wykochek, Brett, I think I sent you that text. He allowed 8 goals on 37 shots.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he's not ready yet. Could he be in the future? No, or yes, but I'm not falling for it like I felt for it with Nedeljkovic.
Right, and we see what's happened to Ned since he signed that deal with Detroit a couple of years ago, and
that's where all
most of Canes Nation kind of balked at it, like, oh, yeah, we could have paid him that. We let it go. Well, now you see.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, like, I don't know. It's like goalies do well in Carolina until they leave, and then it's like, oh, okay. Like Peter Mrazek.
Which is hilarious because my boss is a Blackhawks fan, and he can't stand the guy.
No, it's like, well, no, he played good for one playoff series, and also, do you guys still have Martinook?
Yeah, I think he's on the fourth line.
That's where he should be. He should be in jail. No.
Oh my goodness.
I remember what he did to TJ Oshie a few years ago. Okay. Like,
Oh yeah, I think you're about the 17th Caps fan to tell me that.
oh yeah.
I mean,
There
speaking
are
of
certain instances where you don't forget someone. Why?
I mean,
do you
yeah,
think why do you think I have Brent Seabrook's headshot from 2013 with a giant red circle around it?
I didn't go that far with Martinook. I was just like, really?
I'm kidding.
And I got Penguin.
I also don't have the picture of Brad Marchand crying framed, but I need to get that done at some point.
Oh, I thought it was behind you.
It's not, surprisingly.
No, but I was gonna say that I got friends that are Penguins fans, and so which is surprising actually. But no, so they're like, "Yeah, oh, she's so dirty." I'm like, he's awesome. Like he's not that dirty. I don't know. He plays hard. I don't know.
Hey,
like,
that's a real American you're talking about, right?
I mean,
there.
he gets hurt a lot, but that's because he's like going full bore every time he takes a step. All right, and he's a great dad too. He's great off the ice. You know, I don't know.
Hey, look, there will be no TJ Oshie slander on this program because TJ Oshie defeated our greatest on-ice enemy,
Canada,
the Russians.
Oh, ourselves. Oh,
but
John Tortorella. No.
But yeah, getting back to
Never let that man on a bench again, ever. Please. Christian, go ahead.
Yes.
At least national team wise.
Sure. But side note about TJ Oshie, he actually played for the hockey team. This is going to get into how hockey works up here. So pretty much for hockey up here, yeah, exactly, War Road. They recruit their players from other states to come and play for them.
Yeah, they moved. I think his dad had family up there too.
Yeah, it's like I think it's his uncle or grandfather or something.
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
from Everett, Washington.
Yeah, and then Oshie goes to War Road, and War Road, I can tell you, is an absolute probably the best team in the state of Minnesota year in and year out.
Good clothing too.
Yeah, the high school that I cover, we like to use the term War Roaded because we lost 15-1 to War Road in the state tournament. But
that's just an awesome name.
God.
Yeah.
That's a great name, like War Road.
It's like NC State's club team, up 10-1, and they're still cross-checking people in the back. Sorry, was that out loud?
Is being inducted into the Hurricanes Hall of Fame.
Justin Williams, I can't be mad at him. That's just what he does.
Yes,
we
do have breaking news on the program.
Yeah.
Oh wait, wow, that's a
yeah.
Wait, who's our insider?
Facebook.
No, our insider is Kevin Weeks in various random locations.
Has he done one from inside a plane yet? I'm sure he has.
Has he done one underwater?
He needs to do one like while scuba diving. That's the only one missing.
Kevin Weeks here. This is how you.
I think he did one in Italy one time. He did one from a taxi cab. Let's see, swimming. God, who knows?
Kevin Weeks,
this is how you in Venice.
This is how you do your blocker side underwater, kids. Watch out for the shark.
Hey, what's up, hockey fans? Kevin Weeks here. I'm scuba diving in the Bahamas next to a barracuda. But I'm here to tell you, Tomas Hertl, he's been traded.
He doesn't have a Canadian accent.
But what he needs to do is he needs to take the background of game action so he looks like he's reporting it from center ice during a game.
No, that's the NHL's new gimmick. They're just gonna have it's gonna be like the bubble bowl from SpongeBob. It's just gonna come out of the ice, and it's just gonna be Kevin Weeks and Darren Pang just talking hockey. And I will pay more money. I don't care what subscription service I have to get. I don't have one currently. I will pay. Take my money. I'll take it. Just I will. Holy jumping! We're coming out of the ground.
Holy jumping weeksy, we're coming straight out of the ice here. Oh, banger. This is getting good, isn't it?
I can see this happening too. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, they're at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. These are some ugly looking fans.
These are so.
These are some ugly looking fish.
We must be near one of those toxic waste dumps.
Well, it is Toronto, so.
No. Wouldn't that be?
No.
Well, Cleveland doesn't have a NHL team, so if they'll try it out in the AHL. And be, yeah, I know, but they'll try it in the AHL. And be like, because their river
Was
catches
it
on
the
fire.
the Cleveland Space Jam Monstars? Something?
Lake Erie Monsters.
Monsters?
Yeah.
Yeah, Monstars. Something stupid.
Moonstars.
Like Moonstars.
I think that's a super mega baseball team, actually.
There's one you pulled up.
Oh, yeah. Are we going to do the coverage on the warehouse games, floorball?
Yes.
I don't know.
We
Will our
will get-
viewership go up for that?
Probably. There might be some Steve Dangle viewers that are in on that, but
Steve scored a goal.
Anyways.
He scored a goal from half court or whatever they call a floorball surface.
center floor.
Center tile.
Cent-
Center tile. He scored it shorthanded. It was a beauty on Kane Van Gate, glove side. You know, he didn't see it coming.
Hey,
Steve
I'll tell you.
Dangle is the Minister of Defense back there, and he can also score.
the rink looked like it was made out of Lego pieces.
I know, it looks great. They do a great job there. So if we get enough viewership, can we go and do that?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's just wishful thinking, you know.
Yeah. You know.
Can we
I'm
get
sure
like a
everyone's
donation
enjoyed
jar?
what they see. I need to add a tip jar down in like the bottom right hand corner.
I'll call my mom.
Or should we visit the First National Bank of SpongeBob? Anyways, Christian, as we
Put
wrap
the money
this
in
segment
the
up-
bag.
Put it in.
Okay,
We're
sorry,
showing a balance
Christian.
of zero- We're showing a balance of
Christian,
$0
as we
in
wrap
video
this
games.
segment up and try for some semblance to get this ship righted,
It's
when
already
you
going
look
down.
at the course of the next week here for the Carolina Hurricanes, what are some things that you want to see improvement-wise to try and get over this hump and try and find that next man up mentality?
Well, hopefully, I know Sebastian Aho, he's back. He played last night. Andrei Svechnikov should be back pretty soon. I think a couple more practices is what Brenda Moore said. I think they just really, I want to see them kind of play their actual game. Brett Pesci's going to be out for a couple weeks. I think
It's going to be more than that.
2 to 4 weeks, I think, but which is just more time for Jalen Chatfield to play at some point. But I think that hopefully player health, and I think once they bring back Aho and Svechnikov, they can really, what's the word I want to use? Solidify those top pairings and have that going forward. Because, as I said, the lineups have been kind of jumbled for most of the games, trying to adjust to who's going to play on what while those two recover. So I guess the word to use would be consistency and player recovery. Would probably be the
Plus, you want to see them get back to that same style of heavy, suffocating puck possession, limiting opportunities on the other end of the ice, unlike what we saw the other night in Tampa, which was a whole lot of the opposite.
Yeah, they just need a team of Rod Brindamores out there. You know, great bods. You know, going up and down the ice.
legs.
Yeah, you know, he looks like he can still play.
Oh,
He looks like Mike Vrabel and Dan Campbell. That's the Lions coach, isn't it? Like those guys look like they can still play. They still do drills with their guys. Rod looks like he could still play.
Rod shows up to PNC at like 4:30 in the morning to lift.
Yeah, no, and he's still like, I don't know how old his kids are now, but like he still coaches his kids' teams.
Yeah, his son is his son's actually in the NHL with the Florida Panthers organization.
That's right. Yeah.
And then he's got like 2 other kids. I think.
Yeah, I think he has another son and a daughter, and he coaches the son's team on the side or something like that.
Yeah, it's like, how do you have enough time for that? Like, how do you go?
Man.
As a parent, how do you go and be like, my kid's not playing enough to Rod Brindamore? Well, he didn't actually lose his spot. We didn't know there were 7 games or 4. What? Sorry.
He didn't get swept. He
didn't get swept. No, your kid
did
didn't
not
get swept.
swept.
He didn't lose a spot. We just didn't win. He just didn't win a spot. No.
I knew what he meant when he said that, but he could have worded it completely differently.
Yeah, it's like, Rod.
You still wouldn't know what he meant, too. Okay.
It's like, still, it's like,
Anyways.
you could have not said that.
And even when NHL Network calls you out for saying that, you got a problem. But
that's the only reason I have
Who's that?
Spectrum is just for NHL Network. And they charge me like $50 for it.
nice.
Worth it.
Or
Totally
it
worth
seems like it now. Anyways, all right.
Totally worth it.
Spectrum,
no
if
other
you want to
methods.
sponsor us, hey, X-Wing at Aliciousness at xwing@aliciousness.com.org.
At Aliciousness is actually Will's Venmo.
It's the new social media platform. And I'm here to say that it's going to launch on March 12th. It's going to march on, February 31st. Because I don't think February has 31 days.
Don't say March 12th. We don't want to think about that day. That was when I don't know, the sports world exploded and died.
Thank you, Rudy Gobert.
Oh, okay, all right. My bad. I picked a bad day then.
It's March 13th.
Wait, no, March 10th was when the Leafs lost to a Zamboni driver. So,
No, that's a very good day. Yeah, yeah. So you should have picked that day. So yeah.
I have something about
Zamboni
that.
driver who works for them.
I have something to say about that, but I'll tell you guys when we're off air.
Okay.
Wait, are you David Ayers?
Thankfully,
I think he's
no.
in jail now. Actually,
No.
don't quote me on that because I don't want to go to jail for defamation.
All right, let's get to the break here. We'll be right back.
What the hell is the show, man? I put that one in as the intro for it. What the hell is the show, man?
All right, we're back on Third Line Grinders here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio, TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com, and all our various Tobacco Road Sports Radio streaming platforms. Fellas, Tuesday night in the NHL was, needless to say, a special night. Frozen Frenzy, as it was known by ESPN and the NHL. A really bold move for the league and ESPN to go up against NHL opening night. You had Major League Baseball. You had Game 7 in the NLCS. Go D-backs. You had college football on elsewhere. A couple of college football games as well on that Tuesday night. So it was a really bold move by the NHL to go do that and have, for the first time ever on a weeknight and the second time in history, every team in the league playing on the same night. So let's go through some numbers here. Of course, you had 16 games involving all 32 teams, 102 goals scored. Shockingly, not the record for a single night of NHL action. 3 short of that. 105 was the record. 6.4 goals. 6.4 goals per each game. 93 unique goal scorers. 944 shots on goal total. 10 of the 16 games were won by the road team. Morgan Riley scored the first goal of the night at 6:30. Sorry,
should have been Nick Backstrom. It should have been Nick Backstrom technically, but because someone's skate was such a block, he's barely touching him. He's on his back anyways. Like, just look up, you'll stop it. I don't know.
Will, these are the Maple Leafs we're talking about.
We put almost 40 shots on them. I think we played well. It's just Darcy Kemper can't stop anything anymore. Okay, sorry. All right.
That's an insult to the Maple Leafs.
Do the around the horn thing where you mute me, like the around the horn thing.
Problem was Jack Campbell stopped everything, including the kitchen.
No, that
sink.
wasn't Jack Campbell. That was Justin Wool.
Oh well,
Campbell plays for Edmonton.
That's right. Sorry, got my Northwest Borders mixed up. Anyway, Shane Theodore scored the last goal of the night at 1:45 a.m. Eastern. So that's 12:45 Christian Emery, Minnesota time. Only 10:45 Vegas time. So
What about
pretty
Pacific
good.
time? That's like
that's what
9:45.
I just said. That said Vegas time. That's
I thought
what
they were
that's-
Mountain. Oh no, that's Phoenix.
Nope.
That's Phoenix. Phoenix is Mountain. That's right.
Yes, that's yeah. Can you stop naming irrelevant franchises, please? We don't talk about the Coyotes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, hey, my job is to derail the show at any possible time.
You derail any conversation by bringing up the Arizona Coyotes.
I think they derailed themselves. They didn't have rails at all, really.
No.
They're the old Jets. They got a runway.
Desert.
Yeah, they have.
Anyways,
Jets crash
so
landed.
the attendances for the Frozen Frenzy games. Vegas, of course, had the largest crowd sellout or the largest crowd capacity wise, 2% over capacity, 17,717. Montreal with a full sellout, 21 plus, 21,105. Tampa, 19,092 for the game against the Hurricanes. That was a sellout. Preds, 17,159. That was 100% capacity. Blackhawks just short of a full sellout, 19,370 for their game against the Bruins. Kings had 17,668, 97.3%. I'm still going to call it the Staples Center. I always will. Against the aforementioned Arizona Coyotes. Christian Zek of the Woods, the Minnesota Wild had 17,064, 95% capacity at the Xcel Energy Center. Penguins, 17,209. Columbus with a surprising 16,500. That was 90.5 capacity. Wills, Washington Capitals. Well, it's Columbus. What are you going to do?
16 fans.
16 total. Yeah. It was actually 16,432. But
what were the Caps numbers?
16,641.
The game started at 6 o'clock. That's not bad.
89.6%. That really is not bad.
That's insane for 6 o'clock. That's insane for 6 o'clock in DC. They play in Chinatown.
DC. Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing they have a metro station at Capital One. And I'm going to be really mad if they ever move to a different site. Like we're looking at a place in somewhere in Nova. So it's like, yeah, but you got the metro station right there, and it's near a bunch of other. I don't know. It would be really heartbreaking. I think their numbers would go down.
Move the less relevant franchise somewhere else. Give the Wizards their own corner of the suburbs.
They're all owned by Ted Leonsis. The only teams that aren't owned by Ted are the Nationals and the football team.
Oh, the XFL team, yeah.
Oh, yeah, those guys too, yeah. The Riverboat Rons are in Landover or whatever.
Oh, sorry, you meant. I thought you meant a football team that plays in the Washington D.C. area that knows what they're doing. So I mentioned
they got a new owner. Give them some slack. I don't know. I'm a Titans fan, so I want to die every day.
I'm a Packers fan, so I'm right there with you. Anyways,
don't give
Red
me
Wings.
that.
Red Wings 16,894, 86.5%. Flames inside the Scotiabank Saddledome 16,800, 87.1% capacity. Shout out to Isles fans for not showing up. 14,856 inside UBS Arena.
It's like, wow. Yeah, put it back really? On Long Island. We'll go to the games. No, you won't.
You are literally playing your in-state rival.
Oh wait, they played the Rangers?
They played the Rangers.
I like how last episode you were like, well, it's always the Rangers and Islanders. I'm like, no, it's not. There are more Devils fans than there are Islanders in New York, I'm pretty sure. And also the Rangers would be the only reason the Rangers have a fan base is because it's just like, I don't know, they're the
also
team.
Huge shout out to the Florida Panthers fans. The defending Eastern Conference champions still could not draw over 16,500. They were at 16,142. What else is new?
Was FIU playing that night? If FIU was playing, they probably all were there. They probably got the same
FIU didn't play until Wednesday night.
FIU.
So
they were tailgating for FIU. A big game against like Valdosta State or something.
I think
some Conference USA school that's not going to get to a bowl game.
Like App State.
14,278. That was only 76.5% of the capacity at the Canadian Tire Century. And here's the biggest note of the night. For my St. Louis Blues choke show against the Winnipeg Jets. Again, this is the smallest city in the NHL. They have the richest owner in the league, which is also kind of weird per net worth. If you look that up. The Jets, this encompasses first iteration Winnipeg. Sorry, this encompasses Atlanta and second iteration Winnipeg. You recall, first iteration Winnipeg's franchise history goes with the Coyotes.
Until they sell it off for scraps.
The Thrashers, this is not like the situation where New Orleans and Charlotte in the NBA had an agreement where New Orleans just gave Charlotte their history back from 88 to 02.
Or how the Ravens shed their skin entirely. Texans fans are still mad about the Titans moving. They were the Tennessee Oilers for 2 years.
Ravens did the same thing. They gave all that Cleveland Browns history back to the new expansion Browns. Anyways, the Atlanta Thrashers / Winnipeg Jets, franchise low attendance on one of the biggest nights the NHL's ever had.
Was their game at 6 o'clock?
11,136 for a game that started at 7:45.
Were the Bombers playing?
No.
Oh, yeah. When does the CFL end?
We're in the Grey Cup playoffs, but there's nothing else doing Winnipeg on a Tuesday night. I mean, come on.
Except for maybe snow blindness or keep your eyes on the horizon as you're walking down through the snow, on the plains.
Or maybe trying to find the airport that doesn't exist.
Wait, they don't have an airport?
Oh.
Wait, what the? I didn't know that.
Are you just now learning this?
Yeah, where the hell do they fly in?
Well, given that their team name is the Jets,
look, that's more. You can't use a military base. You can't use a military base as an international airport. That would be cool, though. Save some money that way. Also, a tax write-off. Oh yeah, the government owns this. We don't have to pay tax for it. Are you playing another goal horn?
Yeah, I love that you just talked over Winnipeg's goal horn that whole time.
I couldn't hear it either. Even if you put it right up to next to the mic, I couldn't hear it. We couldn't hear the two earlier.
Anyways, I'm going to have to load in some kind of soundboard for goal horns.
We need a fourth person for that. We
need a goal horn button presser guy. Anyways, there's a lot that transpired over the course of that night. I had a combined 10 goals between the Sabres and the Sens in that game. Devils and Habs was a really, really strong contest. Sorry, the Islanders were playing the Avalanche. Very sorry. But still, you're telling me, Isles fans, you couldn't draw against Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Gabriel Landeskog. Really? Cale Makar had one of the most disgusting backhand goals I've ever seen in my life, where he kind of just took his sweet time up there at the blue line. And then he blew past three people. Blew past three people. Forehand, backhand, bar down, paycheck. See you later, Ilya Sorokin.
It's Uncle Lou's team, man. They're not going to do much until you don't want them to, and then they're just going to somehow win everything.
Probably best game of the night, though, was that Kraken Red Wings game, though. Kraken were up 3-0 in that.
Oh, that's who they were playing? I thought you were just saying it was a cracking game.
But
all right. Sorry. Continue.
Anyways, Kraken were up 3-0. Jaden Schwartz had two of those first three goals. He had two goals, and then the assist on the third one, so he only needed a fight for the Gordie Howe hat trick, but he could not get that completed. All three of Detroit's goals in that third period came on the power play. So they scored three. They tie it, or they scored three to take the lead, I should say. Schwartz assisted on the game-tying goal with about 18 seconds left. The Kraken tied it at 3, goes to overtime. And then you have the sequence where Lucas Raymond comes down in the 2-on-1 in the final 20 seconds of overtime, rings one off the crossbar. Crazy bounce behind the net. Kraken pick it up. They got a 2-on-1 coming the other way. McCann fumbles the puck, misses high on the shot, bounces funky off the end glass, eventually comes out front. Schwartz buys some time. Everybody and their mother thinks that Schwartz is going to shoot that puck, and then boom, backdoor feed, Jordan Eberle. Billy Husso has absolutely no shot whatsoever to get to that puck. Bang, Kraken win. John Forsland goes nuts in the broadcast booth. Everyone goes home happy, except for the people that were there in Detroit. But that to me was the game of the night. Adam Fantilli scores for the Blue Jackets, but Sonny Vetrano looked like he had rockets coming out of his skates on that OT winner against Columbus. Bruins shut out the Blackhawks. The Wild kicked the extra point as well against Edmonton. And let's shift this discussion now to Edmonton, because
Can you play the
there's
horn?
certain things that came out of this night and had been kind of building for a few of these teams before this quote unquote big night came.
I think you have your your noise cancellation thing on. That's why we can't hear that annoying ass goal horn they have.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's probably it. Anyway,
Can you mimic it for us?
no, I can't.
Christian, can you mimic it for us? I'm not going to because I don't want to get fired.
Anyways, I feel a lot of people overreacting to the Oilers' struggles here early on, and it's a team that the three of us agreed kind of had the potential to make this quote unquote their year. I see a lot of people overreacting, and I think that's exactly what it is.
How long's McDavid out for, though?
See,
That's going to determine on whether people should be hitting the panic button or not. Leon Draisaitl is a good player. I think he could be a centerpiece for any other team. It's good that they have him, but I don't know, that team around him, I don't know how good they are. They're going to be able to, really support themselves very much.
I mean, here's the thing, Christian. With McDavid out, double the pressure on Draisaitl. He knows that. Then you have to have guys like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins step up. Evander Kane wasn't happy about his ice time. I wonder why.
When is he?
I don't see names on this roster that stick out now than they did maybe a couple years ago when you had a little bit more depth forward-wise. The Connor McDavid going down was planned for a couple of years ago. Was not planned for this time. All those guys that are making contributions behind him went and got their bag somewhere else. Now what?
You just hope you can stay afloat without him. I mean, they weren't winning with him, so I think they have 2 wins on the year now, something like that.
And again, it's only 7 games then too, so It's not too bad.
Right. So yeah, there's an overreaction part of it, but also there's we're 7 games in. We don't know when McDavid's going to be back. For me, it's a matter of them just being able to tread water in that division as well, because you look at LA and you look at Vegas. I think even if Connor McDavid's out until January, I think by the All-Star break, Edmonton would still be the 3rd team in the Pacific. I think they'd still be ahead of Anaheim and Calgary and
San Jose.
Everyone else.
Yeah,
San Jose, everyone else.
Anaheim and San Jose in that division is going to really help them out. I don't know. Anaheim, if they wear the eggplant more and teal, they're going to win the Stanley Cup. They've won every time they've worn those. So but as long as they don't play the Ducks, then sorry.
Yeah, I just checked ESPN. McDavid's going to be out for 1 to 2 weeks.
That's not too bad. That's really not.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, the other part of that is you got to be careful that doesn't linger, because you don't want to end up with it being a Patrick Kane thing where, a couple of times with that hip, he rushed it back, or Tarasenko with the Blues maybe didn't get the full treatment on the shoulder that he needed to. It came back too soon. hockey's that one sport where guys will try and come back too soon, and a player of Connor
It's
McDavid's
encouraged.
caliber does not need to come back too soon.
There's a difference between being smart and being courageous and being an idiot.
Right. There's a difference between this happening now and this happening in the playoffs. I think even if we're in the last 2 weeks of the regular season, he's playing tomorrow night. Like he's getting back out there as fast as he can. Braden Shen, a couple of years ago, when the Avalanche won the Cup, and the Avalanche beat the Blues in the second round in 6 games, Braden Shen revealed that he played with 3 broken ribs from February on. I mean, think of it. Listen to what Aaron Ekblad played through last year. What, like a broken foot, a torn ACL,
Backstrom won a Stanley Cup with a broken arm, just about, or a broken wrist.
It happens. Paul Correa doesn't even remember what happened from Game 5 on after Scott Stevens attempted murder on him.
Yeah, Aaron Ekblad played with a broken foot, 2 shoulder dislocations, and multiple oblique tears.
And that's also a guy that's gone down multiple times recently. Like, it seems per season he goes down multiple times. So that,
Well, I think he tore his ACL a couple of years ago, didn't he?
He's torn everything.
Yeah.
The only thing he hasn't had is lost his head. That's the only thing he hasn't done.
I mean, well, let's see, Nick. Oh, my thing came out. Okay, I'm being real professional now, boys. But no, I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no. Nick Backstrom literally got it was essentially an actual hip replacement. That's why he missed most of last year.
Speaking of hips, are hip checks back?
They don't lie.
Don't answer that question yet, because we have to take one more break. We'll answer that question very quickly and a couple other things after this.
My hips don't lie. Oh, yeah,
We're back here on Third Line Grinders here on Tobacco Road Sports Radio, TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com, and all our various streaming platforms. Wrapping up our Frozen Frenzy episode. What a great night it was. And a couple of things that we've seen return to the NHL in the first few weeks of the season have been the gloriousness of hip checks and more frequency in terms of fist fighting. We've seen, I don't know what the official statistics are, but across the league, I've seen far more scraps than I've seen, especially at this point early on in the season, the last few years. And I've seen a lot more guys not only being able, but willing to throw the hip out for a hip check here and there. I've seen a brand of hockey that, across the league, it's very much old school mixed with this new school skill. You'll have Cale Makar doing things like that, but nobody's going to go and just take him out just for being, skilled.
They can't catch him either.
That's the other thing. But I think what you're seeing is you're seeing respect for everyone's skill level, but you're also seeing a lot of guys that want to kind of throw it back a little bit, which I love. Like the mix of the star players and the talent that we have in this league right now, and the mixed with the enforcers, the goons, and then the personalities on a lot of these teams, the Ryan Hartmans, the Ryan Reeveses, the Evander Kanes, the Rocco Gudises, the Matthew Kachucks, the guys that get under your skin are still there, and the guys that are just paid to go out there and dangle are still there, and everybody has their roles, of course, but psychologically, I just love this mix of skill and grit that is across the board right now.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot more. What's the word? Like this season in particular, there's a lot more parody than there has been in recent years. So like a lot more. There's not other. I mean, Boston is still undefeated and everything, but there's not that one team that's really going to, at least to this point, that's you can cut as the clear-cut favorite to win it all. It's just, I mean, every team has. I don't think there's really been that many big blowout games to this point, and I mean, just a lot of parity to this point as well. But
Yeah, you haven't really seen anybody just blow or storm out of the gates here really quick. It's much like the Hurricanes. They're pretty much the same boat as everybody else. It's been pretty up and down. Teams have their strong suits and teams have their struggles, but nobody seems to have more one than the other to this point. Will.
Yeah, the gulf isn't very far between a lot of teams. Like even, teams that you don't think are going to win that many games. Like the Ducks, I think the Ducks have like 3 wins, or at least it seems like they've worn the eggplant jerseys, like I mentioned earlier, like 3 times. They've won all 3 times, and that's more games than anyone thought they would have out of 6 games. So, would you say 2 times or 3 times?
They're 2-4 they're 2-4 so far this season. They've played
that
6.
is better than anyone thought they would be.
I think 1-5 was the best that I had that pegged, but
yeah, and so I mean, it might. I don't know. I was gonna say one reason could be due to the big free agent class that was just had over the past summer, but then again, how many of those free agents are really, having that huge impact right out the gate that are like, really, I don't know, really the catalyst for this parody and stuff. I think it's just the season's real young. There are lots of guys scoring, lots of guys doing things. No one knows what on earth, it just doesn't seem like anyone's in the groove yet either. So it's not like it could be everybody's, firing on all cylinders or everything's going in, or it could be everyone's crap, So they got to figure it out.
It's going to be interesting to see where things go from here over the course of the next month and a half. Usually by Christmas is when you kind of figure out, who's who and who's not, and who's going to be a contender and who may or may not be selling at the trade deadline come February. And, there's certain dates on the calendar when you start to kind of figure out who's got what and who is who and all that kind of stuff. But Will, let me allow you your allotted time to sound off on your Washington Capitals.
You got a censor ready?
I think we should pay the bleep guy overtime.
Don't tempt me because I'll make him.
No, the bleep guy is me, so please don't.
Well, you see here, they've let up. Oh, so you don't want me to sound like Samuel Jackson?
No, that would be preferred.
Well, the Caps are allowing too many goals on this mother-father plane. No, so they start out tonight really well. I'll get to last night's game in a minute or two, but they start out really well in tonight's game. They go up 3-0 on the Devils. They look really good. They're taking it to them. I haven't been able to watch the second period really because I signed up to do this. So I expect to get paid overtime. So they let the Devils score 4 goals in 15 minutes. And I think the second period is just about to end now. Let's see. Let me check NHL.com. So I don't know if it's got the whole thing running, but okay, they're at 3 minutes and 32 seconds right now, according to NHL.com. So that could mean that they're in the third period by now at this point. At least not the NHL app where it's like, I don't know how to use this anymore. But no, right. So I'm hoping that they also are starting Hunter Shepard, which is an interesting name in of itself. But so they're playing well. They're getting shots on net. They're getting chances. It's just they haven't gone in. Last night they had almost 40 shots. Christian, if you want to take a look at and see how many shots they had. But I swear it was near 40. And so they almost right out the gate, they were playing the Leafs, hard, and the Leafs were playing really sloppy.
I think the shots were at
it
one
was
point,
20-5.
6 minutes into the second period, it was 18-6 or something like that.
Yeah, and then the Leafs, here's the thing, Darcy Kemper just couldn't get any stops really. And then there were some times where it was just okay, all right. They're not getting Ferry RV should have tied up I think it was Jean Tavares' stick in front of the net on the power play or something. Yeah, that should have happened. But at the same time, Darcy Kemper's got to make more saves. So they're playing well. That's this last night was the second game in a row that they outplayed their opponent on the ice, but still didn't get the win or something like that. I'm trying to remember exactly because, again, instead of it being a football podcast or, where you're playing once a week and you can be oh yeah, this week it's I don't know what day it is sometimes.
Shots were 38 for Washington, 17 for Toronto.
And they lost that game, what, 4-1?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they played well, and so new coach, there is no reason for panic, really. I mean, Mantha scored a goal tonight, and it was a nice goal too, but I lost my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, he did something for once, other than just stand there. Like when he got on the ice last night, I was like, he's still here? I thought, because he got scratched like in the second game, and I'm like, oh, well, here's the thing, we can't trade him either, because who's going to want him? And no one really won that Jacob Brana trade either. No one won that.
The Blues won the Jacob Brana trade.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
You said Jacob Brana trade.
I know. I'm just saying you can't claim that you won the trade that you weren't a part of.
You didn't specify which Jacob Brana trade. Okay.
Oh, okay.
We weren't involved.
I thought he got released.
No.
Okay.
That was a trade.
I'm more upset that the puck's not going in the net. They're getting the chances. I don't know what the shots are currently for that game. Let me go and check Game Center. Why not? Okay, 14-16 shots in favor of the Devils, but it's just I think I was texting with you, Brad. I said if they can tighten up on the defensive end, they're going to be good, and if the puck can start going in, that'll be great. It just happens like that. Steve Dangle says you can get goalied, you get goalied. I mean, it happens. You can, and also if you're putting up 40 shots, are they good shots or are they just, oh yeah, we're just gonna throw that on, it hits him right in his chest. Those were good chances they had last night. They just couldn't get the puck to go in. They couldn't buy one. Justin Wall, credit to him, he stood on his head. But I think they got time to figure it out. Obi had like 15 shots last night. Everybody had a lot of shots. I don't know. I'm not at the point where I can just go off yet. I think they're doing good. And also, since I don't get to watch the team every night because I don't have Monumental Sports Network or whatever, I think I have to pay like $50 on Spectrum for it or something. I don't know. So I'm not at the point where I'm just losing my mind. I think we have an outside chance of getting the last playoff spot, and I'll be happy with that. It's just about everybody being healthy, firing on all cylinders and stuff like that. So, and also if we can figure out goaltending, we'll be good. But everyone else is caught up with us in terms of all the mediocre teams have caught up with us, and we've also gone down a little bit. So I don't know. It happens. So worst comes to worst, Ovi scores 57 this season.
I think that's all any of us want to happen. Is we just want to see Obi come as close as he can to catching Gretzky before the end of the season.
He wants to win.
As close as he can. So
he wants to win. He doesn't want to. I don't. If he breaks the record this season, which he's 71 off, by the way. If he scores 71 this season, yeah, that would be cool. But I think if he scores 71 and they lose the game that night, he's not going to be very happy about it. So he's not just there collecting a paycheck and trying to score and get assists and goals and points and stuff like that. It's it still matters to the entire team. It's just the resources haven't been as good. We're trying to get the prospects to start playing more. And if Anthony Mantha scores 30 goals this season, I will be very happy, and I will I will gladly be wrong about everything I've ever said about Anthony Mantha. So I don't know how
Christopher Magdog Russo, he will not threaten to retire and then back off of it if certain things.
I'd have to have a career first to retire. All right, I guess I'll cut it off there. I don't know if you had asked me a few weeks ago, what I thought, maybe it might be a little bit longer, but I didn't get to do my Caps, season preview like you guys got to do with the other teams last episode. So that's why I'm, extending this for as long as possible and just rambling.
Yeah,
this is what the people paid to see.
So yeah,
this is what the people paid to see.
Main concern for the Blues, Jordan Binnington is doing a very good job of stopping pucks. That's something
keeping him out of timeout.
That's when he's not whining like an 8-year-old that just had his iPad taken away. But that being said, he's playing out of his mind right now. He's standing on his head, the defensive unit in front of him is actually playing up to par, up to what they're being paid. Problem is the offense isn't producing. And for Greg Berube, that's something you got to figure out because there's a lot of goal-scoring talent. You got Kyrou, you got Thomas, you got Buchnevich, you got Shen, you got Saad, you got Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes has barely even showed up.
You guys still got Scott Perunovich?
Yeah, Perunovich is coming off a shoulder injury, so he's, once he's on that D pair that runs the power play, out there with Krug quarterbacking it, then power play might be a little bit better. But you've still got Jake Neighbors, you've got Toropchenko out there too. You've got a gritty, heady fourth line. You got Sundqvist back. You got Sammy Blais. There's no reason you shouldn't be scoring goals. So obviously, it's something schematically that Craig Berube and Steve Ott are going to have to figure out. Anyways, we're out of time. We will see you all next week. Enjoy your hockey weekend.